Welcome to Whiskey and SV. I'm your host Sam, and tonight we're going to be drinking some Weller Foolproof. So, Weller is the wheated product line from Buffalo Trace, and it has the same mash bill as the Pappy Van Winkle. So, once people found that out, it became pretty hard to get. However, I think more recently, due to the volume of availability, prices have become a little bit more reasonable. A couple of years ago, when I first got my Weller Foolproof, which was this pick from Deep Liquors, at the time, I think the secondary market on these was about $300. These days, the secondary market seems to be more around like 160 to 180, depending on the specifics of the pick and the area. The MSRP is supposed to be $69.99 or something. Some are definitely under the $70 price mark. So I guess if it's a pick, because picks are single barrels, typically they would be slightly more, but not that much more, right? So even right now, you can see that the secondary on these is almost double. Even at that double price, they're not easy to find in stores. If you go to many stores that do carry them, the only reason they're sitting on shelf is because they're asking for a ridiculous $300 price mark. So yeah, it's definitely not worth that, and I would not pay that even for one. But I think at the 150 to 180 price range, that's where the sweet spot for these things are, at least to have one in your collection. And if you really like wheated whiskeys, then and wheated whiskeys, and you prefer higher proof ones, these would be the right ones to go for. Of course, the Weller line also has the beloved Old Weller Antique OWA 107 that is bottled at 53.5%. This one is bottled at 114, which is 57%. So not that much difference. So some people actually do prefer the Old Weller Antiques, and their store picks are approximately the same price. So around that's 150 to 180 sort of price range. Of course, with the Old Weller Antiques, some of them are, but the majority of them, I should say, are chill filtered. But the Weller Foolproofs are all non-chill filtered. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The Old Weller Antique NCF non-chill filtered ones are much more expensive. They're like 200-ish. And then, of course, if you like lower proof stuff, they have a much cheaper version with a screw top called the Weller Reserve. That's the green bottle. That typically should be around $25 to $30. I used to not like it at all, but I think this is okay now. I think it's I can see the good side of it, especially if you can get it at that price. And of course, there's a couple of more rare bottles from Weller. One is the single barrel. That's the most expensive one. I think secondary. Again, all of these they're supposed to be under $100, but the secondary on the single barrel is in the order of $400 to $500. And then there's the CYPB, Create Your Own Bourbon, and that was the one with the white bottle. That's also a low proof one and quite expensive. I think it's these days around $350 to $400. I honestly don't think the CYPB and the single barrel are worth it. If I ever do find them at like MSRP, the only reason I would buy them honestly would be to trade them for something that I want more, because I just don't think they're worth the price. All right, so with all that info about the Weller releases behind us, let's talk about tonight's episode. The reason why I'm doing this episode tonight is that I got a review bottle, and this review bottle I got for free, so you should be aware of that. And it is from the Martinez Liquor Market, which is in the town of Martinez, which is close to Concord in NorCal. It's about an hour and a half away from me. And it's this particular pick is called the Flood Survivor pick, and it comes with this cool blue wax on top of it just to make it more fun. There's no reason why the wax should be there. It was just make it a bit more annoying to open the bottle, but it's kind of fun. It makes it stand out, so I kind of do appreciate the details. And compared to my other picks, it also has this little diamond thing here, which is fun. So presentation aside, what we care about is what the juice is like. So I decided what better way to sort of decide that than to put it up against two other picks that I have in my open collection. And we'll see how that goes, because nothing like doing a blind to really be objective about whether you like something or not. All right, so I'm going to pour them. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to put number 1 on the Martinez liquor pick. I'm going to put number 2 on the KL wines pick, and I'm going to put number 3 on the deep liquors pick. Cool. So as usual, I'm gonna nose them first, give some notes, then taste them, give some more notes, and then I'll try to guess which is which, and tell you which one, what my preferences are, and then we'll do the reveal. Okay, starting by this first one. It's quite sweet. Very nice Buffalo Trace wheated mash bill, which is very nice and fruity, lively. So. Of course, underneath all of that, there's the caramel and vanilla. It is a bourbon after all. Yeah, very lively. I like this. It's a very enjoyable nose. Okay, we'll go to the second one. Yeah, very similar, but this one has somewhat of a grassy note to it as well. There's a hint of fresh cut grass in there. Interesting. Yeah, this one tends more towards sweet and caramel. This one tends more towards sort of those grassy notes as well. And we'll go to the last one. Yeah, this one is the grassy note is a bit too much for a wheated bourbon, I feel. If I remember correctly, from what I remember, it was the deep liquors one that had that sort of nose. But I want to go and taste them before I sort of make that determination. Yeah, that's quite nice. No surprises from the nose, really. It's a typical wheated bourbon profile. So the caramel and vanilla are there. It's quite lively. For me, the bitter sort of wheated bourbons always have a little bit of a bitterness to them. The bitterness here is well balanced with the sweet caramel notes. So I quite enjoy this one. This is quite good. I like it. Okay, let's go to the second one. Yeah, definitely a much more fresh cut grass sort of wheat funk to this one. It's definitely got more of those bitter notes, like even maybe I don't know. I think this is in my palate. This bitterness comes from a sort of a young wheat profile. It definitely has more of that than the first one. I can't quite decide if I dislike it, but I definitely don't love it, given that like sort of bitterness. Okay, let me try the third one. This one has become more muted now. Again, all of these are bourbons, so there is some caramel there, and vanilla, but it's not as prominent as the caramel vanilla takes sort of a back seat a little bit to the other things that go on because of their wheatedness. For me, that is like a sort of like a fruity, bright nose, but the palate has a little bit of a bitterness. Okay, let me go back to the first one again. Yeah, this is by far my favorite one for sure. Both on the nose, both on the nose and the palate. I feel like this is like sort of the more dense, darker, more sort of syrupy flavors. Definitely very enjoyable. Okay, trying the second one again. Yeah, this definitely has some bitters that I don't enjoy. I have to say, I'm going to venture to guess that is the deep liquors one. I remember the deep liquors release for me. And by the way, just to preface this, like I'm generally pretty picky about the wheated bourbons that I like. Most of the wheated bourbons I like tend to be older. In younger wheat, I kind of get this like weird bitterness, this wheat funk bitterness that I'm not a huge fan of. And yeah, I think unfortunately for me, this is it has a little bit too much of that, and it kind of reminds me of deep liquors. I have to say though, I have shared this with a lot of other peoples, and at least the deep liquors one, and I'm in the minority there. Most people actually tell me that they love the deep liquors pick. All right, let's go to the third one again. Yeah, this is like now tending more towards the first one. It's much more fruity. That's enjoyable. I like that. Yeah, it's different from the first one for sure. It has more like those grassy notes, but it's not bitter like the second one. I think the second one is super bitter. Okay, so I'm gonna make a guess, which is which. I can tell you definitely that from a preference perspective, this is my favorite. This is close behind. It's different, but if I'm feeling in a more of a sort of a grassy notes mixed with the sweetness, then that's the one I would go for. This is more like sort of more traditional, I guess, sweetness from a bourbon, and this one is not really for me, to be honest. So we'll see which is which. I'm gonna guess though that this is deep liquors because I've spent some time with the deep liquors one before, and it's really not my favorites. And I'm going to guess this is the kale wines because that has been my favorite Weller pick that I've tried. Well, basically, I've tried like maybe 5 or 6 different ones, and the kale wines has been my favorite one, which would mean that this would have to be the Martinez one, which is pretty good. Not as good, not quite as good as the kale wines one that I have, but yeah. I mean, let's see. Those are the guesses, but let's see what is what. Okay, so this is number one. Oh wow! So what the hell? Okay, so actually I picked the Martinez as my favorite one. Okay, so what is this? This is number 3. Oh yeah, this is deep liquors. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right, and then this is number 2. Okay, that's interesting because last night I tried these with my good friend Ralph, and Ralph actually preferred the deep liquors the most, and he was partial towards the Martinez, but not the KL Wines one. And last night I preferred the KL Wines one, and picked Martinez as number 2. Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't expect honestly tonight to change. This is really good. Maybe it's just like had a little bit of time to open as well since last night because it was just popped last night. So yeah, if you did get this one, I think it probably is a good one to crack. I believe they also did a raffle alongside this, and it was one of those duck races, and number 36 won. So if you pick number 36, I picked number 69 because I'm a fucking man child, and yeah. So yeah, number 36 apparently won, and the winner will get a Weller single barrel, which is worth like 400 or 500 bucks or something like that. Okay, well, again, it is what it is. So thanks again to Martinez Liquor Markets for having this pick and not pricing it overly ridiculous. And thanks to my friend Trevor who sent it over for me to review. And yeah, if you have this, please leave a comment. I'm really interested to know what your experience with this bottle is. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Cheers.